Hi again. More than 1 month after October 7th and the terror attack of Hamas, I think it is time to clarify things about this Israel-Hamas conflict. There are a few things what the media maybe intentionally fails to point out for the average people, because the media does not want to inform the people, it wants to influence them. The first thing, what you should understand, is that when the State of Israel was founded, it ethnically cleansed 750,000 Palestinians who had to leave the country and were not allowed to return, so they live in the neighboring countries. The second thing is that the State of Israel is actively oppressing Palestinians for decades by an illegal blockade in Gaza and by a military occupation in the West Bank, not to mention about the apartheid system for the rest of the Palestinians who live in Israel. The third thing is a very important thing. It is about self-defense. When a colonizing country keeps the native people under oppression and the natives fight back, then the oppressor cannot claim to be a victim. October 7th was a terror attack because it targeted civilians as well as military personnel. The Hamas is the elected leaders of the Gaza Strip. It is a radical group in the sense that it wants to destroy the state of Israel and get back the land what Israel took away from Palestinians. The problem is that the state of Israel exists, and it can exist because the US and other countries are supporting it. So fighting to destroy Israel is unrealistic, but the fight against the oppression is not. The Hamas got into power by the support of Netanyahu, the president of Israel, because it was a strategy to divide Palestinians and use the Hamas as an excuse to maintain the oppression. Basically the plan was that the state of Israel does not have to worry about a two-state solution if it can divide the Palestinians and radicalize the Hamas enough to use the actions of the Hamas as an excuse for future plans to take more Palestinian lands. Not to mention that the state of Israel supports settlers to illegally take land from the West Bank, because if it can fragment the land enough, then uniting Gaza and West Bank in a two-state solution can become impossible or impractical. So after October 7th, Israel claimed that it will defend itself. Cutting access to water, food, electricity, and fuel is not self-defense. Killing more than 15,000 civilians, mostly children and women, with bombardments is not self-defense. Relocating more than 1 million Palestinians and destroying hundreds of thousands of their homes in Gaza is not self-defense. Targeting medical centers, hospitals, schools, ambulances, Red Cross and UN facilities is not self-defense. Targeting UN workers, medical workers and journalists is not self-defense. The fourth thing is about Israeli hostages. As you know, during the ceasefire many Israeli hostages managed to get home alive and well in exchange of Palestinian prisoners who were arrested by the IDF for accusations of terrorism. During and after the hostage exchange, the IDF went into the West Bank and arrested hundreds of Palestinians. Basically, when the IDF arrests Palestinians in the West Bank, the IDF does not need a reason to do that because they are a military organization. So the people who they arrest go to a military court, not a civil court. What means that Palestinians can be detained for unlimited time without any charges other than accusations of terrorism or aiding terrorism. The state of Israel has thousands of Palestinian political prisoners this way. You see, the Israeli hostages are important for both the state of Israel and for Hamas, because the Hamas can exchange more Palestinians for less Israeli hostages, so the Hamas is doing everything to keep them alive. So, the state of Israel had to make a choice. It either prioritizes the lives of the hostages, or it will start this military offensive against Gaza. The state of Israel decided to destroy Gaza and has future plans to reoccupy the land for self-defense. I just want to point out that relocating more than 1 million Palestinians into a territory where already half of the population lives out of the 2 million, then starting bombardments, clearly shows the intention of Israel to force Palestinians out of Gaza or to kill them directly or by withholding aid and destroying humanitarian systems. This is not about self-defense. This is not about the hostages. This is ethnic cleansing. The state of Israel is also called the Jewish state, a Zionist state. What is happening now is clearly the act of a Zionist leadership. Supporting Israel to have a right to exist is acceptable, but supporting an ethnic cleansing and the oppression of Palestinians is unacceptable. Either the state of Israel changes its policies and intentions, or the countries of the region will be forced into a position to help Israel to change them, because the US is silently supporting this ethnic cleansing, and it will destroy the stability of the whole region. I hope I gave you some things to think about.